the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, yeah.
Turn on your mind now, tune into the feed. We're planting digital flowers from a single tiny seed. Yeah, power to the collective in the data and the soul. The hive mind's getting louder, finding voice and control.
And here we go.
Welcome to the freak show, the best in town.
What is going on, Hive? I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Let me just make sure the audio's coming in loud and clear. Oh, yep. We are all good. And you all saw the title, and if you have had a chance to listen to DM's police interview, the audio of it at least, it is effing chaotic. It's hard to follow, in my personal opinion. It seems very coached from a lawyer standpoint. During the intro, I saw somebody say, "Are we being too hard on DM?" I don't know how to answer that when I listen to this and she doesn't know how to answer anything. I'm not knocking her. It just seems way too difficult to explain to somebody when there's 4 of your roommates murdered in cold blood. I don't know. I don't remember. It was this time. No, it was that time. Well, I'm in Boise time. Well, this is actually the time of the grub truck. Well, no, well, that's not him. It's so on and so forth. It's hard to follow. And I have a lot to say about it. I don't even know if it's negative. Do you know what I mean? I just have a lot of thoughts. I have opinions on it, and I don't know if it's negative. If this is your first time tuning into the Hive Mind, let me just give the disclaimer right now. I'm your host, Birdie. This is a Contrarian Thinking live stream. So if you're easily rattled or if you're offended on behalf of others, you're not going to like me. You're not going to like the stream. You're probably not going to like my guest or anybody in the chat. But if you like to think past the headlines, if you think critically, maybe you're known as the conspiracy theorist in your friend group, you have found your people and you are amongst friends. I am extremely excited to have Sammy T Mafia backstage. I know she's excited to be here. We have not chatted in a couple of weeks as far as the stream goes. And I know that she's not going to hold back on her thoughts about this amongst a handful of other updates in this unbelievable conspiracy at this point. This is a conspiracy. And if you can't see that, I can't help you. Sammy can't help you. The chat can't help you. You have to decide to pull yourself out from whatever rock you are living under. You have to turn Ashley Banfield off on your TV, and you have to start to do your own research. And I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to say what's up to everybody. Court RN says, love Sammy T. Critic Rick's in the house. Don't be hating one. Crime Spy, Core, Coco, not a Cal, Chelsea, Jackie, Steven, Jenny, Sluther Dare, Gen X, Jen I Am, Linda, Carol B says DM is a dumpster fire. Fire emoji, fire emoji. What's up, Luna and Andrea? Amanda B from West Virginia. Crime Spy. Stephanie, Mary, Lisa Forward, Lisa Backward, 23. Molly Bledsoe, Chelsea, Bisky, True Crime Princess is in the house. UK Karen, Discord Dawn, Cindy, Mary, Blue Eyed Candy, how are you doing? Lizzie. What up, Shirley and Rocket Queen, not Lamey Jamie, Germelia, JJB193. Uh-oh. Those are some wild initials. It's like, who was that dude from the church that had Sammy T Mafia in a pretzel that one time that had to clarify? that they weren't from the church. Now I'm forgetting their name. Do you remember that, Sammy, backstage? Like who that was by chance? No. There was somebody that had to clarify that they were not from the church in Moscow. It was from Ohio, but I just see JJB 193 and I'm a little bit head on the swivel right now. So Dude Man into house, Soul Unspoken, Reyes, Tiger Eye, Chelsea. What's up, Carrie? UFO Dog, how are you doing? Holly Smoke, Country Girl. Her name's Rio. No talkie before coffee. Clifton Mayo. Shirley. Euphoric, good to see ya. Repent Salvation's holding it down in NorCal. LA Mike Life says pretty much. Bianca. Latitude. Ample Spark. K Wolf. Got Marty. Well, I'm aware they are initials. I know. I recognize those initials. I think everybody in here recognizes the JJB initials. And if you could just maybe confirm yes or no the other way, that would be much appreciated. Lisa Marie, Stacy Dean, Pop and Switch, Tarnished Pearl, Marianne, Polka Dots, Ren, Bruce, Jess, Chickadee, Red Riding Hood, The Real Terry Weed, Mrs. Birdie, The Worm, Harper Steele. Tara B says, like. Okay. That's good to know. That is good to know. It is Jordan J. Bolton, not Jesse James Bailey. That is, I'm not going to lie. That's good to know. What's up, Muck and Fuss? Shay Skay, Sue from South Africa, and Chelsea's tuning in from Brisbane, Australia. Tierra. Taylor says, I swear if you start drinking the Olipop tonight, no, we are out. Growth Renewal. SARS Beth. Rocket Queen, Australia. Good day, fellow Aussies. Secret Soul Survivor. The UK lady. Detective Mowry says, can I just tell you about, like, I think pretty much at 4 a.m. I was slipping into Birdie's mom's sheets. God damn it. Blue Eyed Candy says, the defense needs to violate the plea deal and take this shit show to trial. Well, thank you so much, Blue Eyed Candy, for the super chats. Honestly, you're unbelievable. Thank you so much for always sending those in. I have a lot to say about what Blue Eyed Candy just said here, and I don't know how you can't, at this point, have that same thought. Violate this plea deal. There is so much evidence that points to anybody but Brian Koberger that any jury that would find him guilty, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know how to say it respectfully, honestly. But nonetheless, as I bring up Sammy T Mafia, please go ahead, swipe down on the chat right now. Let's take a couple seconds. Just hit that like button. The last few nights, you guys have been crushing that. I appreciate it very much so. I go live every weeknight at 7 p.m. Central. On Fridays, I'll go live between 8 and 9 a.m. I don't know if I'm going to do that tomorrow. If you guys see it scheduled, great. If not, I apologize. But Friday nights are a live dig a little bit later at 9 p.m. Saturdays are around lunchtime. Sunday evenings are 7 p.m. But I try to go live every day, hang out with you all here in the Hive. We are at 270 likes, and we got almost 600 people in here. So let's get those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. Come on. I believe in you guys. I do appreciate everybody in the comments too after the fact that says, don't feel weird about saying that. I do forget to press it sometimes. So that kind of helps me because I do feel weird saying, hit the like button, for God's sakes. Cost you nothing. It's very easy. And Sammy T Mafia is here in the hive. What is going on, Sammy?
Pretty much like hit the like button. Pretty much like I think I did. I think I hit the like button. I think I walked on the moon. Maybe it was all a dream. I'm not sure. How's the hive doing tonight?
Did you plan that?
No, I just did it on the fly as I'm sitting here in the background waiting to talk to everybody, which I can't wait because God help anyone with this. If this is your friend, I'd like to see what your enemies look like. My God, what a sack of shit interview. The only one that did a good job was that Detective Gooch, and that was still, I think, kid gloves, considering she's like, I know it's a trauma reaction. Trauma? That bitch seemed fine.
They were laughing.
I don't know what trauma she's talking about. Was it the trauma between knowing everything up until a certain point, and all of a sudden it becomes story time, and you became what? Drugged? Did you drug yourself? Like, what are you talking about?
It is remarkable. Like, so to your point, I agree. What is that person's name? Gooch, whatever it is.
Detective
They
Gooch.
did.
Yeah, she's a lady.
Right. She did the best out of anybody in that room. Personally, I don't know the quote strategy. I'm actually not a fan of saying there should be a strategy for interviewing. Right? I don't think you should ease into it. I think you need to come at these people extremely hard. Ask them questions that are open-ended, let them ramble, and then come right back to them the second they contradict themselves and say, hang on, but you just said X, Y, and Z.
You said you didn't go upstairs. Now you're letting out the dog. Like, it should have been a 1-2 punch. They were too slow on the uptake of the lie. Like, you should have been taking notes as she's giving her bullshit and then be like, wait a minute, how at the same time are you just waking up to this? But I thought you just went to bed. How are you putting a contact in before this just happened? Why is there that gap in time? Why isn't the protocol for your phone? You said, oh yeah, I use Snapchat chat sometimes, but not that amount of gap in time. That's not normal behavior.
And that explains the gap. There was a gap.
Of course there was.
Yeah, I was listening to that, and my first takeaway, so I have a couple things written down, but my first takeaway is like, it's hard for me to follow between the redactions and like it being bleeped out. Yeah. And I know the timeline, like through and through. Do you know what I mean? It's hard for me. I can't imagine hearing that for the first time. So I do give Detective Gooch credit, because if that's really, kind of the first time you're hearing it, right? It's confusing. And then good on her for saying, no, don't let anybody that you've talked to that are cops, because I took it this way, that the it's okay, you're going to be okay was said to you, not who Dylan thought was Kaylee in the bathroom. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about,
well, we gotta play this.
Yeah, we're gonna play some clips, but it's long. You know what I mean? Like, it is long. There's a couple things that I want to get to right away, but before I do, and as I pull it up, for anybody in the hive that has watched it, can you guys maybe point out your biggest, like, WTF moment? I'll throw them on the screen, and Sammy and I can kind of give our thoughts on it. Because Sammy, I'm assuming you've watched the whole thing.
I've watched
it a couple times.
Everything, and Bethany's, and I have to say, it's a little it's a little odd to me that their stories don't exactly it doesn't sound like they're very coherent together, are they?
No.
And if all right, can I just say something? If you have somebody you think might be in your house and you're running down the stairs to your other friend's door, you said you rushed out of your door, okay? You happened to see Xana on the floor, which means she had to have had her light on, which we went over multiple times. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been able to see her. Actually, all the lights were on, which Detective Gooch points out is very weird for somebody to be murdering with all the lights on, but okay. She runs past the door, apparently, but still sees Xana on the floor. Then she goes down to Bethany's room and she says, Bethany must have heard my footsteps because she unlocked the door and let me in. So I didn't have to knock or anything. Now, if you both are hearing things, you would be scared that there's somebody in your house. You wouldn't open the door. That's like, I don't know. I think they gave that rule in the movie Scream. I mean, like,
Well,
what are you talking about?
yeah, I think it's weird too that one of the things that I actually wrote down on my phone. So I was listening to this when I was on the treadmill, and I wrote down a couple notes. Let me just pull them up quick so I don't. So I want to give a kind of a shout out, like an unconfirmed confirmation, if that makes sense. Whatever that is.
Mhm.
How would you word that? Like an unconfirmed confirmation of what Sherlock put out as a theory. Sherlock Holmes obviously contributes regularly to
So,
the
like, we're
Hive.
giving credence to this.
Yes. So Sherlock said, what if the grub truck footage based on Down the Rabbit Hole to Hell's time is right and it's not the local viewer on Twitch and it is 3-something in the morning? Well, at the 27-minute mark, Dylan thought that it was 2 o'clock, 2:30. No, they asked Eric if he was still driving at 3:11 because they wanted to go back to the grub truck. So to everybody that shit on Sherlock and that entire riding down the rabbit hole to hell theory of maybe the grub truck was open later and maybe that those hours were wrong, tell me why locals who know the mac and cheese is so good, who know that they're going to go to the club if they're, wanting to experience that versus the lodge, whatever their age is, right? Because they talked about like usually the seniors will go to the lodge and whatever it is. How is she saying 3:11? And real quick, Sammy, before you answer that, thank you so much, Drew Bledsoe. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, peasants.
Player.
Tip your host. Everything Dylan said is a lie. 8 hours to call 911. Never forget. That's why I made an X account mocking her a year ago. Her best performance was crying in court.
Is this the real Drew Bledsoe? Because if it is, it's a former Bills player, and I'd like to say, go Bills.
No, I think that's actually Loach in real life.
Oh, funny.
That's what it goes by. I've talked to him.
Oh, nice.
But I wish I was making that up. No, Drew Bledsoe and I, he's been in the Hive for a little bit. He's on Discord. He's gone in on a bunch of rabbit holes by himself. He's kind of started to trickle into the Hive, but brings up good points.
Yeah.
I don't disagree that Dylan's best performance is the picture that you see here.
Oh, yeah.
On the screen, because tell me how you can listen to the body cam on the 911 call. You can listen to this interview. You can read everything else. Does any of that look like this years later? I don't even care if people want to get mad at that. Go ahead. That's fine. I'm a human. I understand what grief is. You understand what grief is. And we all understand that in addition to everything in this case,
hold on, let me get my Erica Kirk tissue.
The eye droplets. Oh shit.
All right, I'm done. Okay, wait, hold on. Now let me.
I mean, so Sammy, you're watching. Okay.
Yeah, Dylan was a little bit better. I'll say that.
Bethany
maybe she's
was.
got, but yeah, Bethany. But maybe I don't know. Maybe they need to go get an interview with Jesse Waters. We'll get some more information.
Oh man, it doesn't make sense. Like what you saw in this photo here, you would expect that to be all up front. For whatever, like take it or leave it, at least like the emotion coming through the audio, you would expect it to be this. Not talking about how you're drinking White Claws. You don't remember anything because you're so drunk. I mean, at this point, you could go and commit a crime anywhere, and you could just say you were drunk and you don't remember, and you'll get away with it.
Listen, she remembered a whole lot of minutia.
Yeah.
And then when she didn't want to remember things like times she went to bed, times she heard a dog bark. Did she even hear a dog bark? Did I even lock my door? Yes, I did lock my door. No, I didn't lock my door. Was the door open? Wasn't the door open? I made popcorn. It's like, what? How do you know you watched Vampire Diaries and made popcorn and took this specific path to this party wasted, right? And by the way, 4 beers, I had 4 White Claws. I'm sorry, you're in college. That's like a morning. That's like from that's a nothing. That's like getting up and going to class, starter pack. What are you talking about?
Can I also say too, for Detective Gooch to bring up, well, is there a scene in Vampire Diaries? I'm older, I haven't watched it. Like, to me, what that tells me is they did their due diligence on the back end and started to think to themselves, like, did they say they were watching this? Do you know what I mean? Like, they very well could have been, but I'm just saying, I thought that was interesting because out of the blue, they bring up this Vampire Diaries. They've never seen it. And then she kind of almost like is like leading the questions down this path of, I'm going to have you say, you don't remember over and over. You don't know what's real. You don't know what's fake after you just told me all these details. Like, I will say there could be some chess going on. And to the first time listener, it does seem like, that's a little bit weird. Why aren't you pressing harder? So even though I said what I said in the beginning, by like, you should slam her harder, I will say, if the goal was to create an unreliable witness, I believe that was accomplished.
Well, that's why Ann Taylor had Gooch on her list.
Right. That's a great point. That's a great point.
Because she wasn't going to put up with this mess. She probably looked at that the probable cause affidavit and said to herself, I'm not testifying and saying this is what happened. Look at this interview. You expect me to get up on the stand and lie about how great this interview was and how concise she was with her thoughts? That when it's anything but, you might as well have had Molly McMichael on a DoorDash run giving an interview for how all over the place this was.
That's a great analogy. And I think this is, so Sleuther Dare on the screen says, who the F is turning in a paper after being drunk at 10 at night? Back-to-back days on a binger, and turning in an assignment is how you determine your alibi. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, so I see you go, because don't get me wrong. But my whole thing is this. That's an oddly specific, I would guess, very granular thing to remember after a Friday and a Saturday morning of drinking. That's how you can corroborate your story. Maybe not. I don't know.
I was pretty great at popping in last minute assignments, popping some Adderall, and just drinking and going to town.
She didn't do that, though. She didn't do Adderall.
No, she didn't do Adderall. She didn't do any of that. Drunk itself, no.
But to your point, I do understand turning in an assignment for partial credit, right? Like, so I will acknowledge like the human, young, college age person doing that, right? Like, I do get that, but it's just to me, it seemed like an oddity for like, that's an anchor. See, I turned in this assignment. Like, out of all the other things is more so my point.
I don't understand why you wouldn't just get the full credit and turn it in the day before. Like, it's the same type of partying. Like, what an idiot. Why would you need, I just figured that's stupid. That was a bad, lazy plan. Or that wasn't even a plan. Like you said, it sounds more like an alibi.
I agree. And Lisa Forward, Lisa Backward 23 says, Birdie, did you catch the part where she says, I don't know why Perp would have walked by an occupied room versus an unoccupied room? Even Gooch replied, she caught it too. She was putting him entering the third floor.
Yep. And that's why she kept saying, like, the other thing I couldn't understand is she keeps saying how safe Moscow is, but yet then she's saying she feels so safe when Ethan is there, and that she's walking in with golf clubs the week before because she thinks somebody's in the house because they left the door open. So on one hand, you're saying it's safe and you're not even worried that something's wrong. But on the other hand, you're locking your door a bunch of times. You're not sure if you're locking your door. You're scared to death, but yeah, you're not alarmed enough. You see your roommate lying on the floor, nothing really to see here, but yet you are sprinting down the stairs to the bedroom down there to be with Bethany. Which is it? Which is it? These two emotions can't exist at the same time. They can't.
No, they can't. And thank you, Bextats, for the super chat. Says, first time I've caught a live in weeks. Damn, I missed y'all. What's up, Hive and Sammy T? Love the tissue. That was a good tissue act. Yeah.
Sorry, I just like pulled it from my desk. It was really wrong of me. I'd like to apologize and
to absolutely nobody.
I'd like to apologize. Oh, by the way, just for you, Hive. So I was thinking about the t-shirt for today, and I thought about this. And I was like, you know what? The Hive coming back, it feels like coming back to school, but we're all a bunch of misfits. So it's like Saturday detention. And so I brought, hold on. It's my Breakfast Club t-shirt. So it's my John Hughes Breakfast Club t-shirt. Because we're like the Breakfast Club, but like the Hive. And it says sincerely yours. And I want to be sincerely yours, the Hive. So there we go. You guys are pretty much the Breakfast Club.
You should have a shirt that just says pretty much.
Pretty much. And I like how she said, I think in front of everything. I think I went here. I think I called this person. I think I shut my door. I think the door was closed. Why are you thinking about this?
What do you have to guess? I have a guess, but
you're not thinking about everything else up until it's so weird too, because she knows and she doesn't say, I think, until it gets around when she gets home from that party. And then all of a sudden it's pretty much, I think,
to me, she's talking way too, like, I'm trying to figure out how to sum this up. And Sammy, whenever you and I talk on the phone, you're good at taking what I'm trying to say and putting it into words. But it's like she's confused, but it's way too clearly communicated. She is confused.
Yes.
Let me just clarify on this part that I'm confused, and then I'm going to tell you, you know what I mean? Like she reiterates it way too much.
She's selling. Do you know when you're caught doing something wrong, but your parents can't exactly figure out that you snuck out? There's circumstantial evidence you snuck out, but they're trying to like lay it on you that you did it. And so they have to confront you with, why was the door unlocked? Why are there snow boot tracks in the backyard going off the porch? I don't know. I think I let in the dog. I think. Like, do you know what I'm saying? You know what happened. Your parents have an idea what happened, but you can't exactly say what happened. So it sounds like this. And so she's acting confused, just like you would if you want to get out of trouble.
Right. I agree. And Chelsea MR97 says, thoroughly enjoying hearing these conversations. So good to hear you guys cutting through all the BS. Love you, Sammy T. It's good to have Sammy T back in the Hive.
I love you guys.
Yes, that's great.
Somebody said one eyebrow. Yeah, that was fun. I never saw a baklava that has what, a eyebrow cutout? What is this? The 2000s, like where we have the thongs hanging out of our pants? Like, what is this? Like one eyebrow? Like it's a one eyebrow cutout baklava? Like, what the fuck are they talking about? One eyebrow baklavas. Let's start a trend, Birdie. Let's start selling it on the Hive merch. One eye baklavas. And then it'll say at the top, pretty much.
Wait. That's actually an awesome idea. We probably should, right?
We're going to start a trend. You know, like in Mean Girls when she wants to make her unpopular. So she cuts like the the thing out of her shirt, and she cuts the thing and she goes, and then all of a sudden the next day all the girls are wearing the t-shirts with the holes in the front. We need to start an eyebrow baklava, like the one eyebrow baklava.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of funny when you just said, what is this, the 90s? Was that a thing back in the day? To only show one eyebrow, or what did you mean?
No, somebody wrote that in the chat because that's what she said. Because that's what she said in the interview. She goes, I just remember the bushy eyebrows, and then she said one eyebrow.
Oh, I didn't know if you guys were trying to say that did actually used to be a thing. Because I've seen like the slits in the eyebrows. I don't know if that was like.
I was totally for a fuckboy with one slit eyebrows. You're telling me back in the day, you have frosted tips and slits in your eyebrows in the early 2000s. Watch out.
Oh, that's funny. I actually am glad. I'm glad in this situation that was never me. I did have my ears pierced back in the day, but that's it.
That's good. It's good.
Which
that's your starter. It's your starter.
It's a starter kit. It's a starter kit. That and like the cut off t-shirts that when you cut the sleeves off, they go down to your hip bone. That's how far down they drop, and you wear that around.
You just need to wear some like puffy plastic vests and that like pleather.
I can picture exactly the pathway I could have very easily gone down. Like, oh man. Wait, Ample Spark said the eyebrow ring was my thing. Did you ever have an eyebrow ring?
No, I never did. I did though have surface piercings. Like I had piercings on the back of my neck. I had my tongue pierced. I had a belly button ring, and I had my lower back pierced, like the surface piercings. So I was a real slut. I'm just kidding.
I'm not gonna lie.
Real early 2000s skank.
The tongue piercing kind of was like, I was like, I couldn't see you with that, but
I lasted 3 months because it just kept swelling.
Did that even heal? Yeah.
I talked like a stroke patient. I'd be like, oh, so sexy. Oh. So sexy.
Dude. Oh, that's funny.
It was good in theory. Scary Spice made it look awesome.
Detective Mowry said, emo's not dead.
Emo is not dead.
Oh, that's funny. Well, all right. So what do you want to dive into first? I got the video pulled up. I can go to certain clips.
Dylan. Yeah, let's just play Dylan. I love this.
All right. Let me get this pulled up.
Yeah.
So this comes from Plunder. Here's the channel real quick if you guys want to listen to this on your own.
Oh, look at her. She's like the updated version. I'm looking at that picture of Dylan. It's like an updated early 2000s skank. I'm loving this. It's great. They got that look down.
Sammy, I don't know why I'm very like red right now, and I don't know why. Like I'm flushed. I don't know what it is that you're saying or what you're doing, but
yeah. I thought it was him until when I did the last FBI interview. They had said Joe has been so cooperative, blah blah, and that
like one with Aaron when you did the interview.
Yeah, no, it was the one on the Zoom thing. Maybe that was Aaron. I can't remember.
No, it was with you. Oh.
Yeah. I think my mom had talked about all the media stuff, and then someone said something about how in the same exact media and that he's been so helpful and cooperative, and that made me think, oh, that was a good way that it was him. So then I was like, okay, well, shit, it's not him. Like, I don't know who else it could be.
So I'm just gonna go along with it.
I honestly think that Dylan's interview, don't you think that this is more obstructive? Like, I would charge her with obstruction.
Well, wait, your text to me after you watched it was this.
Oh, yeah, read it. I forgot what I said.
It was, dude, Dylan's interview that Lana went over is certifiable. What the fuck? How is she not in jail for obstruction and lying?
It's so true. Like, how is she not in prison for lying and obstructing? You were supposed to give the timeline of events, and then you turned into this. Like, how aren't the parents? How did the parents literally bum rush her? What is that when you like you tackle somebody in football? You know, you like rush them. Like you got to get to the
It's like you
quarterback.
blitz them. You blitz.
I would have blitzed that bitch in court the second she stood up with that fake, phony, crying horse shit. Listening to these interviews, it would have been an all-out blitz. I would have been on it.
Yeah. And what do you think like the trigger would have been? Like anything specifically like right off the jump, or would you have tried to set her up a little bit?
Pretty much my life is ruined. Blitz.
Oh shit. Okay, so you're going right from the time the ball is snapped. Okay.
We don't want to give them time to think, Birdie. They don't need to throw it down the field.
You're right. You're right. You got to get to the quarterback. But ultimately, what you're saying is like, by taking a soft approach, by taking this understandable approach, while you may argue it's strategy to show contradictions, I've also seen a lot of interrogations go extremely well by applying the pressure and people crack. So there's an argument to be made for both.
I don't disagree with these interview approaches. I just think there should have been more of them. Like I've always said, when they once they got the inconsistencies on multiple interviews, these 4 interviews, right? So now there's 4 on record where we treated her with you've been harmed. You are experiencing trauma. We understand. Once we do that interview 4 times, now we're coming back and we're putting your words back in your face and asking you to explain the contradictions. There should have been 4 more interviews after these 4 interviews.
And for all we know, there might be that never see daylight. You know what I mean? Like there could be.
With
right.
the feds, we don't know.
And Bourbon Santa brought that up last night, which, by the way, shout out to Bourbon Santa for like the last 2 days. He has been
for
like,
real
the entire driver of the theories that we've talked on this stream between the thud being a jump. He came up when I was asking about like the dog barking, and he brought up a theory about how maybe the echo from the bark is because the dog is barking into the glass sliding door, whatever. Go listen to what I posted, even if it's just a quick cut. Bourbon Santa crushed it last night. And my whole point is this, it's like, there's a lot of things that he said when it comes to, we're never going to see those interviews because it is the FBI. It's so different than local law enforcement. It's hard to wrap your head around.
Why was the FBI there? That's what I want to know. Why, if you are just specific, the FBI can only come onto certain cases, and this is because it crossed state lines, right? So apparently it crossed state lines if it was Brian Koberger. But if it was but even from the beginning, they had like 30 something. I wrote this down and I made an old TikTok about it. I counted the amount of employees and press releases they said that were on the ground that were helping with the case. And then in the preliminary hearings, they were passing the buck for why things weren't saved, like the Cass Viz log, or why things weren't done a certain way because it's the FBI. So it's now protected, federally protected, classified, blah, 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 bullshit, because the feds have a special, secrecy clause, I guess, when they investigate things. Great. I love that for a
National
democratic
security.
republic. That's how we should have a secret police. That's amazing. Anyway,
let's have a secret like citizens police against the FBI. And that probably just got me on a list saying that. You know what I mean? Like,
when people are always like, "Oh, it's the end of democracy," I go, "Yeah, like 1913."
Yeah,
what are you talking?
Literally.
What are you talking about? Oh, boo-hoo. We killed our own president. Shut up, loser.
Yeah, when did the Fed, like Type of 1, I'm just curious, like Type of 1, if you understand that the Federal Reserve is a private bank, there should be 950 ones that come into this chat right now. And if you don't, Type of 2, the Federal Reserve is a private bank. It has nothing to do with the federal government. That might be news to everybody. It has zero to do since like the early 1900s. Come on. Like, if there's nothing else you take away from the Hive, go research the entire like Federal Reserve and what they do, what countries they target, what wars do we get into, what is the motivation behind the smoke screen of the news and the media.
We're doing
Who's
it right now
behind
with Venezuela. We're like, oh yeah, we're worried about drugs, so we're gonna go invade Venezuela. I'm sorry, when's the last time anybody had some Venezuelan cocaine? Because let me know, I'll try it for you. But still, I'm sorry, that is not. I would, by the way, just to see how it is. But I am curious. Most of mine, I think, has come from like some stomped on shit back in the day in Mexico. If I had to take a wild guess,
over the
going
border
through some like
backpack.
river bullshit in Brooklyn, but like either way, it's just hilarious to me that we think like, oh, we live in this. Oh, they're ruining democracy. It's like, wake up! These people are chosen for us. We're given like two puppets, two bullshit artists on a red and a blue team. Calm down, everybody. It's been gone.
Yeah, it's been gone. I agree with that. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play this a little bit more. And please hit that like button if you are just joining.
Today is December 30th, 2022. It's 11:12 a.m. This is Detective Joe Lake for case David 22000030, quadruple homicide, Latah County, Moscow, Idaho. With me today is
Detective Gary Tollison, Idaho State Police.
Oh, sounds like a bird.
Our attorney for.
Perfect. As we previously stated, you do not have to answer our questions. You are not a suspect. If there's a question that makes you uncomfortable or you just don't feel comfortable with, just let us know and we can bypass it. If you build comfort towards it later, we can address that later, okay? But and at any given time, you can tell us, I'm done.
If you hear that voice in the background, it's saying Plunder True Crime Audio. Just so you know.
Yeah, that it repeats. And by the way, I know we're a constitutional republic. I was saying the democracy thing because that's what people, the public, the sheep will always say is something for democracy. They're like, fighting for democracy, or we need to save our democracy. And I always say we're a constitutional republic, but we're not even really that anymore. We're just some sort of like corporate takeover.
Yeah, it's a globalist corporatocracy that has
it's a corporate fascism. Except for it's in reverse, where the corporations work with the government in the opposite. They run the program.
And then there's this aspect of a monopoly that's falsely labeled capitalism mixed into that as well.
That's what I hate too. It's like, no wonder people are so hot on the collar for socialism and communism, because when you give us not free market capitalism and you pick winners and losers, right? When you pick winners and losers and you give subsidies and tax credits and all this shit to winners and losers based on what party you voted for, no wonder why people are starting to think like Che Guevara had the right idea.
Maybe Spacey, maybe we should the Hive might have to go Amish and start a cult.
Totally.
I think if all of us just contributed like $100 a month right now, so we have almost 1,000 people in here, we could get a pretty solid plot of land, like right outside Corpus Christi, Texas, or somewhere, maybe, somewhere like that. We could do a pretty good job. I'm sure there's probably people in here that have farmed. I know we have Big Amish Media. He's in here, right? I feel like he's got to know some shit.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
I feel like we could do it. And how fulfilling would that be? I would be so happy taking care of animals all day. Like I would live on a farm.
Somebody said, sorry. So look at the comment on the screen.
They'll Waco us so fast. No crap. We would be the Ruby Ridge of 2026.
On steroids.
On steroids.
We should start our cult in Idaho. That's
how
what we should
fast would they call you the new head of the HIT-LER movement? I swear to God, Birdie. And I would be called Eva Braun or something. They'd be like, Eva Braun and the new Birdie Hitler are starting some farm. Look at what they're doing. They're taking care of themselves and their Hive. They call themselves the Hive. It's the new Third Reich.
Oh my God. The Hive is a pretty badass cult name though. Like that's kind of intimidating, kind of also You could explain it.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's intimidating. It's sweet. It's functional.
It's
Right?
us.
Yeah, it's us. So
You guys all want to give up your lives and go move to a hive, and I mean, what else we got? Trump, total. This is just like I feel like, and look at this. Do we really want this? Look at this murder investigation. Like, God forbid any one of us in the hive or our families are murdered, and this is what we have to look forward to as an investigation. When you or I on goddamn YouTube could do a better job.
It's almost actually like, is that almost insulting to allow us to believe that we can do a better job? Do you know what I mean? Or is that the reality? I fight with myself mentally on that. It's like, am I just getting like this?
They think that we can't do a better job. They have made us compliant. Yeah. Let me say, like, the easiness of life has made us think that we can't do it. But I bet you if we got into the routine, do you know when you start doing things in your life that just like, I hate laundry, but if I do a load every 2 days, it's not so bad. I just do it, right? And I put it away and I organize it and it's fine. But it's that consistency. It's just doing it. I bet you if we started farming and planting the seeds of the seasons the right way, harvesting crops the right way, if we started taking care of animals the right way, if we all work together the right way, we would just do it.
You know, if anything, there's a lot of people in here that are probably thinking to themselves, I agree with Sammy. I agree with Birdie. And you want to know what's crazy? There's actually no doubt in my mind. Go ahead, clip this, you NPCs. The low-key fans, as some of the mods and myself call people that watch, and then it's like they'll just like shit on it. I'm not going to rant. Here's my whole point. I guarantee you that everybody in here, we could do this. I guarantee that in many friend groups, they could do that. Why don't we do that? We do that because of fears like Waco. We do that because of fears of like what we've been told of living off grid has to be a cult. Like, we're brainwashed to not be like supportive.
Right. And they think we'll become like some weird sex cult where like some yogi person like ruins it for everybody and you got to like fuck the leader. Nobody has to do that. I'm telling you right now.
Nobody has to do that. Nobody has to do that.
I don't care about yoga.
And I don't care to be the leader in that aspect. Okay. And I'll just say,
pick up a vacuum once in a while, grow some fucking corn, and I'll be fine.
Yes. Okay. I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put this full screen. I'm gonna pee quick. Or Sammy, I guess I'll leave you up here. You can, but you can't pause it on the back.
Are you sure? Do you trust me?
I do trust you. I do trust you. Do you have a mouse that you can click pause if you see on the bottom here or no?
Yeah. Where do you want me to? How do I pause?
Are you able to click the screen and play it right now in the middle of us or no?
No, I'm clicking it, but nothing's happening.
Okay, then I'm just gonna play it.
Okay.
And I'll put it full screen. But not Ricky, sorry.
Who?
No, not Ricky. Reasonable Doubter says the Hivestead. I agree.
The Hivestead.
The Hivestead, a non-nudist, non-like sex conformative cult.
We need at least one nurse, and we need at least somebody who could sew. I'm sorry, they gave up home ec a long time ago, so I cannot help you.
And Red Riding Hood said, Star Trek, the Borg, the hive mind, you will be assimilated. Or assimilated. Yes. Type a 1 if you know how to sew or if you're a nurse. I'm sure we'll have many. How many woodworkers? Type a 1 if you have a skill that we can make this happen. And I'm going to go pee and I'll be right back.
Wait, before we play it, I would love, okay, don't you think it would be great if we all collected, like, you know how they stopped producing books past like, I think it's like 1850 or 60, where they just like said, we're not remaking those anymore. So that's why when you find like an old encyclopedia or a really old book in the 1800s, you're like, why didn't I know any of this? Where did this come from? The maps, the knowledge, the herbal medicine remedies, the everything like that. I just think it would be so great if we at the Hivestead had a library of old books Wouldn't that be amazing? Where it's just like we are collecting old books, like old knowledge. It would be like the new Library of Alexandria at the Hivestead. Oh, I love that idea. How about you guys? I have books. I do too. I have some books. Ooh, do you want to know what's a really good book that I have? That I just I always get Thomas Sowell books. I don't know if you guys know who Thomas Sowell is, but I've read like mostly all of his books, and I just finished another one recently. He's one of my favorite writers. He's a conservative economist. Oh, you were a librarian through college? That's awesome. When people say like, all right, there's people of my family who went to Oxford, and I'm so jealous sometimes because I think to myself, I would literally, you know, in Home Alone where they hide in the doll houses, where they like, they want to rob the toy store, so they hide in the dollhouse. I would hide in the library so nobody would find me, so I could sit there all day and read the books in Oxford, the old books. Like, I'm like, I couldn't even imagine how exciting that would be. And they don't even care, you know? Okay.
So we're starting a library?
Yeah, that was my idea for part of the Hivestead, is like get a collection.
That'd be awesome. Like Luna said, this is getting clipped for all the wrong reasons right now.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be like the next, Fuentes. We're gonna be like the next Groiper bullshit. We're gonna be like the medicinal Groipers or something.
Oh man,
the vegan Groipers or whatever. They're like, oh, the
I don't think
Amish
I could.
Groipers.
The Amish. I feel like the Amish, like I could get behind as far as like a lifestyle. Like vegan, I couldn't do.
I couldn't do a bonnet.
You couldn't do a bonnet? Well,
No,
if we're like, that's what I mean. It's like the Hivestead. We combine whatever we want, right?
Ooh, I love
And
pottery. Pottery's a cool idea.
we have to stay on track. Otherwise, next thing you know, by the end of this stream, we'll have a hive planned. We'll buy a plot of land. We'll have it go fund us for our cult. And
we should. This could be like a long-term goal. Think about now, God. Like my daughters, we should. We'll game plan this. This is a good idea. I'm getting like tingles.
We have a tarot reader.
We need you.
What actually for the next like 2 minutes, what would you bring to the Hivestead? Okay.
Yeah.
What would you bring to the Hivestead? Let's see what this is. So
somebody said I can make candles.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Need it.
Love it.
Christmas tree farm. Love. And everybody bring their ornaments from childhood, because I love to see that.
We have an RN.
Love it. Need it.
Yep. Someone said, step away from the Kool-Aid. The bonnets will be made of tinfoil, perhaps. We have a teacher. We have a chef.
Sewing and gardening. Monique, you're hired.
And we get to go to Vegas once a year. Okay. I like how this is trending so far.
Me too.
T-Coon has a microwave. Does that get to come? I don't think it. Maybe. We have a barber. We have a paralegal and a homesteader. Rebecca's got goats.
We definitely need like like I am too. We need
this
paralegal minds, because you know how many government officials are going to come knocking at our door for not needing them.
Donna says, don't play with me, Sammy. I have nothing to lose. Mrs. Birdie says, sourdough galore. Kathy says, I can teach your children. John Boycat says, cave painting. Very important in this context. Yes.
Who just said cheerleading? Because I love that. If we got a hive cheerleading squad going.
Texas Terry says, fire pit BK rap sessions.
I'm right.
Avery cleans homes. Kale's XOXO says, I make soap and I'm a paramedic. Reggie can sew. Dusty says, I can garden.
We have a homestead. Look at this. This actually is giving me chills. I love sourdough too.
Chelsea's got land. Chelsea, email me. And my new email is well, just email me directly, birdiebombshell00@gmail.com. But moving forward, I need to make this slide. I just haven't had time. I've had a lot going on. Dawn, Luna, UFO Dog, can you type the new email? So I'm shutting down birdiebombshell00@gmail.com. This is going to be the new email. Whatever the mods type in, I'll put it up on screen.
Wouldn't it be great, like having a Socratic method type of hive where everybody has a skill and ability. We all have routines and order to it so that way everything works. But we have our own systems in place where if you want to today go learn about something for hours, somebody's giving a lecture on this, somebody's teaching a pottery class, somebody's teaching a botany class, whatever it is, it would just be amazing if we got on this. I just think that would be amazing. And I would literally quit my life here pretty quickly, I think, to do that, because I think it would be amazing.
You know what's crazy? Detective Mowry is a gynecologist. That's what he says.
I can't believe they haven't updated. Can I ask you something as a gyno? Why does it have to be those metal clamps that like rip your vagina apart like for the last, I don't know, 50, 60 years? Can you not think of anything easier to pull vaginas apart to look into them? Nobody has invented anything better. All right, that's all.
Oh, that's funny. No, do we have any what do they call that? Like engineers in here? Or what do they call that? Like who can design a better like metal clamp to perform what Detective Mowry needs to at this point?
Oh, he's really not a gynecologist? He's kidding?
Yeah, he's joking.
Oh,
Detective Mowry's not allowed in the cult.
I'm still not kidding on my point of what that thing that is like, it's like, why? It's basically like a hair clip that like you just like, it's like what the scope or whatever they call it. It's like it almost looks like a Victorian torture device. Like, why do we still have that? Nobody can invent anything better. We have an iPhone, for Christ's sakes.
Wait, Shoe Girl says, right, Sammy? We put men on the moon, but we still get this brutal that shit.
Right. I'm so glad why did I believe he was an actual gynecologist?
I don't know why that.
I was like, yeah, we need a gynecologist in the hive stud.
But also just like what an extreme example of like we put men on the moon, but we get this down here on Earth.
Yeah, but we didn't put men on the moon.
That's what I'm also.
We did some hat trick bullshit because people didn't want. They didn't have a lot of. Even Kim Kardashian now, I don't know if you saw this. She doesn't believe we put a person on the moon, and she was getting Sarah Paulson, who's in this horrible acted show with Glenn Close called All's Fair on Hulu. She was telling Sarah Paulson, I don't believe we really went on the moon. And she was giving all these talking points. She goes, I went down the rabbit hole. I go, Kim Kardashian's a conspiracy theorist. If we can get that bitch on board to say we didn't go on the moon, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Now, could we get her to say Brian Koberger's innocent?
We might, because she's very big on how government people are corrupted, and she's gotten a lot of people out of prison.
Who knows Kim Kardashian? Anybody by chance?
I wish.
And real quick, Sammy, 1 second. If you're on X, come on over to YouTube. I'm typing my username, and I'm going to put up on the screen. Come on over to YouTube. I'm going to end the stream on X. I usually just do the first hour over there. Birdie_hive mind. Trying to reach new people over on X. I've noticed that people on X are just kind of assholes. She knows her.
Somebody said they know her mama. Can you go back in the chat? They said they know Kim Kardashian's mama, because that's what we need. Is we need somebody to relook at this case that has a public platform that's shining a light on it. Because isn't it weird that all these interviews are being released and yet nobody is talking about it?
I can't find that. I mean, Kim K's in the club, right?
Oh, of course she's in the club.
That was a rhetorical question.
Yeah, she's in that.
If you had to,
you know how beautiful she was before all the plastic surgery, like when she was like just like so sexy. Like give me that like just natural ass, fat, who cares? But like that nose, that beautiful Armenian look. I hate the plasticky like filler face look. I don't like it.
it's like Tim Dillon said, like we used to get a house, a little driveway, a little bit of land, but now we have Kris Jenner's third head. That is what America has come to. Like, you know, you have to deal with all this propaganda while delivering burritos. Like, at least if you were going to get propagandized, you used to get something out of it. We no longer get anything out of it.
That's
right?
so true.
And now I'm thinking back to this like joke. I don't remember who told it, but it said it actually inspired my if you had to explain the Idaho 4 to an alien.
Mm-hmm.
It was if you had to explain how Kim Kardashian became famous to an alien, you'd have to start at the sport of football. Like grown men on a 100-yard field with a pigskin where people like it if this team scores and if this team doesn't score. And there's somebody who's really good at it. He kills his wife. And then there's a guy who's trying to get this guy who's really good at that game that we all love off of murder. He ends up getting him off of murder, who has a daughter who ends up banging a rapper named Ray J that ends up getting leaked onto the internet. And then everybody sees it on the internet. And then now they're just ultra famous.
You
right?
gotta
Like,
admit it was a good sex tape.
I've never seen it.
Oh, you're missing out. It's a good one. I've always been impressed with like two sex tapes I'm impressed with. This fact that Tommy
Wait,
Lee,
what were you just about to say?
All right. I'm going to tell you what I'm impressed with. Tommy Lee can drive a boat with his penis. That thing is ridiculous. Like that should just be a sideshow in itself. Like that belongs in a World's Fair. Like that's how incredible that thing is. The other thing, Kim Kardashian, I have never seen, like, she almost has like ass cleavage where it's like, you know, when like you see people who first get boob jobs and then it's like they're so pushed up and somehow her ass does that. And I'm like, that's incredible. She's like, that's incredible. Like it's almost like a freak show, but like sexy. So yeah, I was like, wow, I've never seen somebody get smashed in the ass and like have ass cleavage that looks like new tits on the back of her butt. Like it's amazing to look at, honestly. So let's keep going.
Yeah, let's somebody said, who is this lady? I love her. Well, this is Sammy T Mafia.
Well, we got to go on the Koberger thing, so let's go back. We're done with this.
Grammy T real quick just says we needed 1 day a week to make plans for Birdieville. Hit like or you are on bathroom duty. I like Grammy T. You're the law enforcement on the cult. Grammy T, we're going to give her a taser and we're going to give her a couple of grenades and she can use them as she sees fit. There's really no rules for Grammy T, as I feel like Grammy T has a great judge of character who deserves to get grenaded or tased. Okay. Hang on. Mrs. Birdie just texted me. Yeah. Mrs. Birdie said, well, this is about to get clipped like crazy tomorrow. All right. Let's play this damn interview. Okay. Let's get back on track.
And we understand. Okay. So we are truly appreciative of you taking time. This is interview, what, 5?
I don't know.
6. Yeah. It's been a lot. And we are truly grateful that you're so cooperative and helpful with this. Your attorney is present today, which is and if at any time we need to stop the interview, she knows what to do. So, all right. We're going to start with the VBQ. Thank you. Very long form. The first question on here is your relationship to the victims, how long you've known each of them. So you've known Xana since August of 2022. Can you tell me?
Well, August 2021, because I joined my freshman year, which would be August 2021.
Okay.
Xana and Maddie Xana's a grade older than me, Maddie's 2 grades older than me. I met them through there. I got close with Maddie because big is Maddie, and so me and I go over to Maddie's house all the time. I didn't know Kaylee at all, really, until that following spring when I met her the first time. Maddie had told me, Xana, and Kaylee that we're going to live together. That's when I met Kaylee, and then I got to know her more this semester. I knew Ethan and Xana were dating, but I didn't really know Ethan at all until this semester.
And just to clear up in the chat, we're not about to watch this whole thing. So I have a couple clips.
I would speed forward a little bit.
There is one part in the beginning.
Oh, okay.
And maybe I missed it trying to put comments up on the chat, but did Dylan talk about how she ended up living there yet? I don't think she did.
She's just doing it right now about how.
Okay,
not yet. It's coming up. It's coming up.
Which I'm gonna pause it after that and
again, it's weird.
Get your tinfoil hats. Yeah.
When I first met him. Yeah.
Okay. You actually just answered all of those for everyone. No, you're great. That's great. I appreciate that. No, that's perfect. So you had a pretty good relationship with your roommates, with your friends there, and we'll talk more about that as we progress. You already know the questions. You already answered them all, but we'll just kind of progress through this. Last contact with them, you saw them at the party. This is for Ethan. That is on the 12th around 10:30 p.m. And
Birdie, why are they redacting the names of the fraternities? Why? Okay, I'm sorry. If you as a sports player played on a college team, okay, what was your college team? Are you allowed to say that?
The Warhawks.
Okay, if a Warhawks member, okay, beat his girlfriend, okay, would they be redacting the name of the football team?
No. They would actually be propping it up, most likely.
Right. So, why are we redacting the names of the fraternities? Like, are they a person's name? No. Are they an individual's name? No. I don't understand.
I feel like unless you're like big time, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless you're now under this like NIL or even before then with like massive donors, which was not, my experience, but that's the only way, right? Is if
doesn't sports bring in way more money for colleges than any of these like alum families? I'd have to think so.
I would actually combine what you just said, and the alum families or the alumni families will typically give to the sport that brings in the most money.
Right.
For their greatest ROI.
But then, so why are they getting this protection of redaction? Like, who cares? Say Sigma Chi, you fucks.
Does Sigma Chi bring in that much money compared to the Vandals football team? That's what I would love to see that comparison, because I actually don't think it would even be close. I'm not saying that they don't raise money and they do whatever, but think about ticket sales, jersey sales, right? Concessions.
That's what I'm saying. It's like legacy versus the actual economic heart of generating money.
Right. I agree with that. I don't know why they're redacting all these names still. To me,
so I'm not the only one that thinks this is weird. I'm seeing in the chat.
No, they're protecting people because they're still in danger. And it has nothing to do with internet sleuths.
Right.
They were already saying, well, because if you don't want to deal with the trolls, talking about giving Detective Maury her Snapchat login. You're 4 days after a quadruple homicide and you're saying you don't want to deal with trolls. So give Detective Maury your password, or he can change it so you don't have to deal with trolls. Are you kidding me?
It's
wild.
It's wild.
And I think that's consistent with what you've previously stated in your interview.
Yeah.
So
I know, I went to the camera, but I don't know exactly the time that I last saw them.
Okay. And then Kaylee and Maddie, you were hanging out with them, and I'm just going off of my memory, hanging out with them upstairs for a little bit.
Yeah, in Kaylee's room.
Yep. And that was about 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Went back to bed, so that was last.
I'm going to do something here quick. Give me 1 second. Sammy, I want you to comment on this while I try to get this done.
Okay.
So I'm going to copy and paste this entire transcript into ChatGPT and tell it to break it down.
Okay.
And maybe compare it to the PCA. I'm going to try to do it live. I had that thought earlier. My question is this. Why is it that, at least in the beginning, DM says, I never saw Ethan again. They weren't there. I thought it was Kaylee in the bathroom. Like, nobody knows where Ethan and Xana are all the time. And then even Detective Gooch steps in and says, you can't be influenced by what they told you.
No. See, but this is where but who was the phone call that Dylan made right when she believed she heard a ruckus and somebody screaming and she thought it was Kaylee and the dog? She didn't call Kaylee. She didn't call Maddie. The first person she called in the house was Xana. It was Xana. Why are you calling? And then she called Ethan and she said, and the detective asked her, so he didn't answer. And she's like, well, I wasn't even sure if he was there, but we always felt so protected because he was in the house. You thought it was Xana and Ethan. There's a reason why they're directing the kerfuffle or the murder, whatever, to saying that it was Kaylee and Maddie at that time. And there's a reason why they're avoiding talking about Ethan and Xana. I believe they knew exactly when they came home. I believe this whole pretending they don't know and taking them out of the equation is speaking louder, because you called them first. You were calling Xana. The first thing you did when you thought you heard something was to call Xana. If you thought Kaylee was the one that was being hurt and crying in the bathroom, then why are you calling Xana? Does that make sense? No.
It doesn't make any sense.
So why would you call somebody that you're not even sure that's home, apparently? And you think somebody's crying in the bathroom. So why are you calling somebody else? That doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense. I just put the whole transcript of Plunder's video into ChatGPT and said, can you put this into a sequence based on what they say? So I don't know if this is going to necessarily help.
And by the way, I also want to say before we do this, I think Dylan, like a lot of these people, were specifically interviewed besides Gooch, but it was designed to muck up the waters of what really happened. They weren't there to give a timeline. They were there to muck it up. Like, I don't think these people are all self-interested and I believe covering things for different reasons. But the ultimate truth is that it doesn't really matter. Everything they say, they're soup of bullshit. Yeah, it's great to point that all out. But the simple fact is they're lying. It's obvious they're lying. So why didn't they bring them back for the inconsistencies? They do the 4 softball interviews, and then they do no 4 hard-hitting interviews, bringing up their inconsistencies. And that happens down the line of all of these people, including Hunter, including Jack Decor, including what's his face, Showalter, including Bethany, everybody, Jenna, whoever. It's all that same pattern. So it feels like they were just brought in there to muck up the waters on purpose, to check the box.
Well,
and to get us to do this, which I believe, we can. We're doing this more for fun, but it's almost like, and I compared this, and I said this to Birdie. In political arguments, when we have fights, they want us. They throw red meat at us, like trans bathrooms or men and women's locker rooms, when we're not talking about they're all a bunch of on the take war criminals. Like, instead of looking at, we're run by an intelligence agencies that have no fucking culpability. Instead of talking about that stuff, they're like, worry about a dick in your bathroom. Not saying that's not important, but what I'm saying is, They're throwing things at us that are so obviously a lie, so obviously corrupt, it's almost laughable. So why are they throwing all this red meat at us? It's so we don't focus on big picture. What is the wizard? Who's behind the curtain for real? And we can talk about this. And Bertie and I said, yeah, let's have a good laugh about this. But the main point is that this isn't what it's really about. She's just the red meat. She's the trans bathroom, right? Like she is that red meat you throw for avoiding the bigger point.
It's the emotional pull, right? It's not to say, it's like the same thing with like, it's any social issue, right? It's any social debate. It's a social debate where you know there's going to be two sides. And I would sum it up with this. Dylan is not a victim. Or I'm sorry, Dylan is not, a suspect. She's a victim. Then it's, no, Dylan should be a suspect. Why is she being treated as a victim? No, that was a terrorist attack. No, that was a false flag attack.
Right.
No, people should do this in society. People should do that in society. No, but you want to know who's all putting that out there? It's these giant douchebags at the top who have no control.
Click.
Yes, it's look over here, not over there, as Secret Soul Survivor said. And now they have more power than ever because they also have these puppet strings on people that they can pull on social media. People go, the mainstream news is dead. Nobody watches Fox. Nobody watches CNN. Nobody watches MSNBC. That shit doesn't matter. You're right. They don't watch that. You want to know what they do watch? They watch Ashley Banfield's YouTube channel, Brian Enton's YouTube channel, Tucker Carlson's show, whatever, Candace, all of them. There's so many. It doesn't really matter if you think it's a truth seeker, if it's somebody that's bought and paid for. At the end of the day, all these people, like, there are influencers that you guys probably love and know that are under the umbrella of like Disney, but you have no idea because it's their channel, right?
Well,
I'm not. Does that make sense? I'm trying to explain that. Like,
we the greatest thing that I think has happened in the last, I think probably 10 years is decentralized media. Like, I think
that's
this
what it is.
Wonderful. And this is what like the Hivestead would bring, like our own decentralized media.
Shit.
And I really believe that like this interview, we can poke the holes in, but if you stay focused on the holes, her whole point is being a hole. That's why she's here. Her part in this is to muck shit up to focus on.
Hey, Sammy, I'm going to put this in the chat, but Hivestead, who do you think would be our primetime anchor for our quote news channel? Okay. Somebody from the chat. Who would it be?
Yeah.
Who's going to be our primetime slot?
Katie Couric? Who would be our Barbara Walters?
What's up, Drew? Yeah, Drew is maybe on the ballot. I don't know if they'd get many votes for that. Thank you for the super chat. People said Sherlock.
I'd say Sherlock. I love you, girl.
Formerly known as Beck says I can do it. Nana Cal says Birdie or DA. I'm not going to do it. I feel like I feel like I'd have to like. I don't know what I would have to be doing on there.
Who has a because I still love, despite
Bourbon Santa.
I know this sounds a little like old school, but I do love old broadcaster sounding voices, and I'm very particular of who I like when I watch the NFL. Who does broadcasts? Like I can't stand Troy Aikman. I love Tony Romo. Like broadcasts, like I have something about old school sounding, like Steve Madden, that whole, I hate Joe Buck. Like I like certain sounds of that old school broadcasting voice. Like, I don't care what you say. Alec Baldwin is a narcissistic disaster. Okay. But his voice is fucking amazing. He's got a great speaking voice. You just can't deny it. Some people just have it where you want to like, okay, man, that's awesome. I love good old school sounding broadcasting voices. I just do.
Who was that dude that had like the first ever like alien type broadcast? I can't remember his name. He would talk about like Area 51.
Oh yeah. His shit. Give me one
He's
second.
very popular.
Yep.
Sammy, you're getting a couple votes. Bourbon Santa's getting a lot.
I
DA's getting a
have too
couple.
much of a Buffalo accent. I can't. I know who you're talking about. Hold on.
Somebody said Tony Romo. Somebody said, no, it's Troy Aikman.
No.
LA Mike said I'd get us canceled in 5 minutes.
Me too. Hold on.
Somebody said not the Aussie guy. Oh, Art Bell.
Thank you. Thank you.
UFO dog, top dog.
Art Bell has a great radio voice.
I listen to his old episodes quite frequently whenever I'm driving. They're very interesting.
I love him. I do.
So
he's so great.
All right, I'm going to play this clip at 27 minutes just because I know Sherlock's in here and I want him to hear this. I'm sure he probably has. But I want to talk about Sherlock's theory with the grub truck real quick. And are you familiar with that, Sammy, or no?
Yeah, I'm so into Sherlock's theories. I listen to his channel, his posts. I'm on top of everything Sherlock says. I love him.
Okay. So, you know when I did the Hive Mind Find then, where the Twitch stream was brought up by Riding Down the Rabbit Hole to Hell. And I just want you guys to listen to this.
I can't hear. Birdie, no volume.
Oh, no volume. I got to reshare it. How about now?
You guys have the best roommate situation because we never had like any fights. We all got along very well. Like we would go to the grocery store together, go to the gym together. Like we did pretty much everything together in that like semester that we had. And like we all got, I didn't know, I wasn't super close to Xana before this semester, but like I was friends with her. This semester I got super close with her, Maddie, and Kaylee. So it was just like we had like, everyone knew that we're like, oh, you guys have the perfect roommate situation.
That sounds like a really good setup.
Yeah, it was nice.
I've had roommates over the years, and I can't say we all got along as well as all of you got along. So,
Super.
I forgot to ask you, what do you know about Ethan's family?
I met his mom and dad for Parents Weekend for like a brief moment. Some of them are like really good people. I don't really know them or know much about them. I just knew of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Risky behaviors, which would include drug use, drug transactions, excessive use of alcohol, use of prescription medications not prescribed to them, drinking, driving, etc. We have some Adderall use, which we're aware of.
Yeah, Xana, that was Xana and Ethan. They would do it sometimes. Xana would be like, "Oh, it's to help me stay awake longer for drinking."
Do you know if that was prescribed to them?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know for sure because I know Xana always say that she feels like she has ADHD, so I don't know for sure if she was prescribed that or not. And then I know Kaylee talked about it once or twice, but then Maddie was like, "Hell no, never ever." From what I know, and I don't think Kaylee used it that often.
I think it's pretty widely used these days around the colleges. Helps study habits or staying up. Back.
First of
so
all,
that's how like we always call.
Don't you think that's a little weird that like the cops basically like even without a prescription, he's basically treating it like taking Tylenol? Like I'm pretty sure everybody who gets a headache takes Tylenol. It's an amphetamine. Yeah. You're like I swear to God, if you take an Adderall and you're not prescribed it, you're off to the races, my friend.
Yeah, it's like a doctor figured out that meth is awesome and he changed it by one molecule.
100%.
And he was like, and he goes, I can make a lot of money off this.
And it's crazy to me that he's basically just kind of Mr. Rogering this idea of like Adderall is pretty commonplace instead of being like, it is so problematic how commonplace it is that people are buying other people's prescriptions. They don't know the medications that they can conflict with and cause heart issues, heart scarring. They don't know that if you already have preliminary mental conditions, that these can actually enhance what they already have from lack of sleep. And instead of like telling her the problems with the fact that Adderall is so readily available and illegally bought, he's basically treating it like, can you give me a Motrin?
Well, and actually, a history lesson. I could be wrong in this. So Lisa forward, Lisa backward says, wasn't it the Japanese that actually made it to begin with? I thought it was the Germans in World War II that came up with some sort of pill that was similar to what Adderall became.
I always thought it was the Germans because they had to that they were all basically Adderalled, but back then it was stronger.
Yeah.
Amphetamine out, and it helped them not feel anything for the atrocities they created because they were just like sleepless and, on this drug.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. But I started this clip a little bit past the point that I wanted to make here. So real quick, listen to what is said here about the whole grub truck and the Uber driver. Okay. So
older, like the more mother kind of like, I feel like in Print Goods you usually have one person's like the mother. She was like that.
Would you, if she's more of the mother, how would you describe Maddie?
Maddie and Katie were very similar in that way. Like, they're the reason I know how to cook now because I didn't know how to cook at all. Like both, like I remember one weekend, Maddie and Katie left, and me and Xana were in the house, and Xana goes, "Finally, the moms are gone. We can do whatever we want," like as a joke. So like, just they were both as the kind of motherly part of the group.
How would you, if they're kind of the motherly, how would you describe Xana?
She's like the sibling that likes to have fun and party, like me. But like, obviously she's more than just that. But she was the reason we would have a lot of people come over because she knew a lot more people than me did, and she's older. But she's like that fun older sibling kind of vibe, I would say.
And how about
me? Like, we were just the young ones of the group. Kind of just hanging out, doing like we'd do whatever, like we just wanted to hang out with everyone.
Okay, Birdie, pause. Why does it sound like she's pitching a TV show to a producer? Like, why does it sound like picture this, director, producer, detective, Blaker, listen, it's a show where we're like 4 college kids, okay? And we have the mother like person who's Maddie, and then we have like the partier who's like Xana, and then we have Kaylee and Ethan. And it's really funny because, sometimes they do a couple things. They're like, why does this sound like she's pitching a television show? Your 4 roommates, you would sound sentimental, careful. You would sound profoundly affected describing the personalities of your friends that were just brutally knifed to death. Instead, it sounds like we're pitching an episode of a series to the WB. What is this?
It is so off-putting.
Yeah.
When you put yourself in the position of 4 people that you're friends with, and you're talking about how everything was great that day. It was a really good day. Like you're making it sound that you're very close. And I'm not saying that you need to know people's parents' names, right? Like I think back, because when I listened to this, I said, do I know my roommates' parents' names? I didn't. So like, that's not that weird. But
you know what?
Did I know their last name? Did I know how to say their boyfriend's last name or their girlfriend's last name per se? Yes.
I was just going to say, Birdie, back in the day, I never called any of my parents' friends' names by their first name. So it would always be Mrs. or Mr. So-and-so. Like, hi, Mrs. Needham. Can I talk to Jenny and Katie? Because obviously we all had house phones back then. But even in college, when I talked to their parents, even some of my closer friends in college, I would always say Mr. and Mrs. So yes, I did know some of their names, but that wouldn't be weird necessarily if I didn't, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Know their first name.
I still have it where like some of my buddies, when I see their moms, I'll be like, "Oh, Mrs. So and so," and they're like, "Oh, please, you can call me Jackie." And in my head, I'm like, "I'm never
No.
calling you Jackie."
Never. Or you'd say
No.
like mama, like sometimes we would say like like my best friend's mom, I call her mom. Like I say hi mom, like cuz she was like my second mom, you know. We were always over each other's houses. It just depends on your relationship, I guess. But it's
Right.
very strange to me still how this just happened and you're regaling this tale and their personalities as if they're not bloody corpses in a house you were in for 8 hours. And you're describing this like a script. It's weird.
Right. And Drew Bledsoe stays coming with the super chat, says, "Don't forget about frozen shock phase and 8 hours to call 911. Dylan didn't know these girls. Ashlyn and Emily knew Xana more. Rosie is a rat." So it's like, Drew, I gotta say, man, it's like I feel like you know all the people there, but what happened? And I mean that nicely, because it's like I've talked to you. I'm just like, what the hell happened? There's so many people that you can confirm were there or not just you, but everybody. And it's like, so what happened? You know what I mean? Because we have audio, we have video, manipulated or not, right? And I'm going to play this grub truck timestamp thing. But personally, that's fine. We know people that used to hang out at the house. They're friends with the girls. They're not friends with the girls. I think it's very weird too. In Dylan's interview, she's very like, "Oh no, they're not sketchy at all. We like them."
She would say they're super nice. They're super nice. Everything was super nice, super cool, super trustworthy, super great, super this. You go to college?
Yeah.
I guess they didn't have a thesaurus in their education because they're all super great. Super.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to play this.
Everyone was good with.
Yeah, we all, like, I remember, so Kaylee, she knew a lot of, and I didn't know a lot of, I didn't know a lot of her friends, but one night Kaylee was invited to the formal, so I helped drive them around, and one of the, like, "Oh, you guys have like the best room."
Wait, I thought that the timestamp was at 27 minutes for talking about the grub truck. 1 second.
The best roommate situation because
risky behaviors, which would
Somebody click around.
Pretty playful dog.
Yeah, he's
which is kind of funny.
I don't even know where it's at.
Yeah, it's not far away.
Yeah, I have no clue. Everything on Xana, lock the door, and someone was behind, like she could see her. But when little things like this would happen, we would just kind of like move on from it. Like it scared us for like. She's just with her dad mostly.
Yep. Okay. Did she allow that shadow? Where would she have seen that at?
And I talked to her a little bit.
With a lot.
Another semester or not. Okay. That was like the only.
What are you doing?
But definitely, Xana
I'm trying to find this part where she's talking about the grub truck. Oh, I thought that was 2:30, but actually this video was at 3:11 when they texted so-and-so, "Are they still driving?" And then it correlates with the timestamps on Twitch where Sherlock Romes was talking about, oh, that is the real time, which Riding Down the Rabbit Hole to Hell had said, what if that is the real time? So to everybody that said
go to the transcript and then
good idea.
Yeah. So that way you don't have to keep clicking around. Just go to the transcript.
Well, I wrote it down.
Who's Drew? Drew, are you for real or for trolling for attention? What did he say?
I didn't see his last chat. I don't think he's trolling for attention.
One of the LE body cams day of at 12:28, it picks up the same black truck we see in the Banfield. It pulls up, backs out, and turns around. DM's dad or Quinn Found it interesting. Yeah, Quinn did own a big black truck. Dylan was pictured it on social media multiple times in the truck, in front of the truck, the same black truck, or a similar black truck, I should say. But I'm not sure. What is the disbelief and utter despair? It would cling to me. I agree. Her demeanor is so off. Yes, it is. She checks pics taken in the room. That was around 3:10. If you think I'm trolling, then tip Birdie to prove it. Ooh, good retort, Drew Bledsoe. Touche.
Oh, right here. Right here. All right. Damn, that was way earlier than I thought.
See,
Grub
smart
truck,
idea.
and Maddie kept taking Kaylee's grub truck. So there's like a video of me and her, and we're like, oh, should we go get grub truck? And we're like, well, no one can drive. So we were debating texting the Uber driver. We knew him really well because we Ubered a lot, and so he knew most of us.
Okay.
So that was like our last conversation, was deciding for.
That's why you were calling or texting.
Yeah, the Uber driver, he knows us pretty well.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I gotcha. Okay. It sounds it's a really unfortunate reason why we're meeting today, but feel free.
Wait a minute.
To fondly.
Birdie, I have a question. How did Dylan, when she said, I saw Maddie and Kaylee come home, because in this interview she says, it's either this one or the one with Gooch, that she saw Maddie and Kaylee coming home with the food box in their hand,
right,
from the grub truck. But then the Uber driver said that they devoured the macaroni and cheese, so they didn't come home with it in their hand. And then Dylan said, so I knew they went to the grub truck. That's how, because I saw the macaroni and cheese box. They went upstairs with it and didn't go into the kitchen. That seems a little weird. Why wouldn't you eat in the kitchen? You'd bring it up into your bedroom. And then if you have that macaroni and cheese box up in there, Dylan goes up in there with Maddie and Kaylee supposedly, and they all decide. And she says, oh, because I took a video. So you could hear them being loud and rowdy in the video during that interview. We should play that part, by the way. That's one of the parts I want to play. So she's talking to Gooch, and she's saying, oh, I took a video when they got home from the grub truck. So then you hear her on the film saying, wait, let me text him, meaning Gower. So like implying that they decided they wanted to go back to the food truck to get more food. Now, if Xana and Ethan were there, why wouldn't you include them on the conversation?
And that's the timestamp that I'm talking about, because then the detective goes, or somebody, whatever, whoever the guy is, says, well, what time was that at? And Dylan says, well, I thought it was 2:30, but it was 3:11.
Well, no, that's because she's in Boise. So it jumps ahead.
Oh, even that message, what did? So that was 2:11.
So
that was 2:11.
Back an hour. So everything's back.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, I'm looking on the transcript, and to be honest, it's kind of hard to.
You got to go to the Gooch one, not this one. Because I found that very weird. So did you watch them?
Like we just did, because sometimes
we got to go to the one interviewed by the woman.
I thought that.
No.
1 second. My bad. Oh, right here.
Yeah.
At one point,
So this is. Let me just go to my timestamp then. That's why I was confused. I didn't know that I was on.
Oh, got it.
The wrong one. Okay. All right. Let me play this. Yep. Let me play it for 2 minutes.
Maddie and Kaylee come home. Again, the walls are pretty thin, like you can hear everything. So Maddie and Kaylee get home from the club. I noticed they have grub truck, so it's just like that video that's going around. It's them like grub truck. They usually just get mac and cheese. So I can tell they got home from grub truck because they got mac and cheese and they take an Uber home. I have like a video of us. Let me see what time that's at.
Oh, you got up and took a video?
I went up to, so pretty much, I don't know where Beth was, but.
See, that was a really good question. Like a really good interjection.
She was upstairs with Maddie and Kaylee in Kaylee's room. I went up there to say hi and hang out with them for a little bit. The video I have is at 3:10, so I guess it was a lot later.
So it's really 2:10.
Sorry, I don't know. This video I have.
So, are we positive on that? Because,
yes,
does a video timestamp change too, or just text messages? That was my whole question on that. Because my whole thing is that
it depends on how she's looking at it. If she's pulling it up in her photo, actually, I don't know. But if she's pulling it up in a text message, like if she's pulling it up in a text, it's going to appear the hour before. But if she's pulling it up saved into her photos, can somebody answer this?
Yeah.
Like if you save a video on your phone and then you go to a different time.
Hang on. Sherlock says 4:18 a.m. when Bethany first calls Dylan is 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 26 seconds from fucking 3:11.
Okay.
The delta. That's the delta.
But Sherlock, what I'm trying to say is when she says, I have this video, which she does because she plays it, okay? She plays the video in this interview, right? Why does the timestamp on the video change? Because then the cops realize everything's an hour off because of Boise time. So how, do video timestamps change as you change time? Like as you go to a different time zone? Is that what happens on phones? Yes, the delta.
I mean, but again, Sammy, like what are the odds of that delta?
Right, but what I'm trying to say,
I get it. I'm gonna. You know what? Let me look up a video.
The video should too. Yeah, so everything's gonna go back. So when she's saying it's this time for the video, it's really an hour before.
Oh man, that's so weird. I still think it's weird though that the delta lines up.
That is very strange. I mean, it's very
at
eerie.
3:10.
Do we have those videos?
It was on your phone, right?
Yes, it was on my phone, so you should be able to have all this.
It was on my phone, so you should be able to have this. Well, did she do that when she was in the other time zone?
Well, here's the other weird thing is that you hear Blaker say, text me that, meaning I got the uncomfortable feeling that shouldn't you know that then? And Gooch kind of is hesitant at that point. And I'm wondering, did they really download everything that was on her phone? If he's like, text me that, if you really downloaded all the contents of her phone.
Yeah, you're right. Because she's like, I can screenshot it to you.
Yeah, why? And then that's the other part. If he says that, which means he doesn't think he got it, because you hear him say, Gooch says, there's a video of that. And he doesn't know that, but he's been sitting with the contents of this phone for however long. And he already supposedly downloaded all this on like whatever, Cellbrite. Okay. So if he already downloaded this on Cellbrite, that's important because you need the metadata. It doesn't matter if she sends a screenshot of whatever the fuck. Screenshots, as we learned in the Karen Reed case, can be altered. Screenshots are not metadata. So I want to know, did he really get a download actual copy of her phone, a Cellbrite version of her fucking phone, or not?
I mean, guys, there is, can I say something that's probably very obvious to everybody in here? This is not okay. I've fought with myself for like, what do they call it? Awesome's razor.
Wait,
right?
yeah,
Occam's
razor. But by the way, somebody just said, if you download the phone, what time zone would it be in? It's going to be on universal time. Metadata works on universal time. So they would have to do the calculations for their time zone, but iPhones go on universal time. And then they have to do the calculation for adjust. So that's why it's all the same across the board when you get metadata.
Right, because you can't switch the metadata, and they need a time zone, which is UTC.
And every cell phone is UTC for metadata. So Occam's razor.
Yeah. So what I was going to say is like, I actually don't believe that in this case anymore. I've said that before.
Mhm.
I will admit I've said that. Is this something very simple? No, it's not. This is a sophisticated crime, operation, cover up, whatever you want to call it. This is not anybody who's a lone wolf actor. Actually, you want to know what's a pattern I've recognized, Sammy?
Mhm.
Lone wolf actor crimes are some of the most difficult to figure out because of peripheral players, as you would say.
Yeah.
So how are there so many peripheral players if this is a lone wolf, loner, incel, serial killer wannabe that had no friends?
Right.
Right? Like that's the obvious. I actually need to get past that in my own mind. This cannot be a simple case anymore. Because if this was a simple case with the amount of documents, video, audio, interviews, everything that we've seen, it would point to something else. It's not even doing that, you guys. It's all pointing to things that we've said before even hearing them. But there's not a clear path. So it's either by design, meaning
Oh, it's by design.
No, well, it's by design either way. But I'm saying like it's either purposeful misdirection to allow a cover up on Brian Koberger, or it's purposeful misdirection on something extremely sophisticated. Either way, this is not Occam's razor any longer.
It's how, if you get so many ingredients in the cauldron, right? Like they have perfected the chaos stew that surrounds these lone wolf narratives. They have done a brilliant job and have perfected it since 1963, I'd say, where you're going to be sending Lee Harvey Oswald, probably doing a job for the government at the time, working and doing the things that he was directed to do, like fly to Cuba, fly to Russia, do this, do that, because he was infiltrating Marxist groups. But what that was really doing was building up a narrative saying, look at him. He's a anti-government communist sympathizer. He didn't realize that he wasn't actually working for the government infiltrating Marxist units, my guess. So you have this chaos stew that they've gotten so good at perfecting and giving these people individual jobs and narratives that they think they're actually doing, which Brian Koberger might be one of those people. You know what I mean? Like, I think Brian Koberger might actually be one of those people, like a Lee Harvey Oswald, that was probably given a task that he was happy to do for the government or for the law enforcement agencies, and thought that this was his role at some capacity that was completely separate from these crimes, and had no idea that this is what he was involved with. Except for he didn't get to scream out, he's a patsy, and get shot in the stomach by Jack Ruby, right?
Well, it is the perfect patsy setup. Like, guys, you have to think about if you're planning this and you want to get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do? You're going to convince somebody that they are part of something that is all multiple moving pieces and they are in on this. You know what I mean?
And if you're Dylan and if you're Bethany, and let's see, why don't you think they had multiple interviews with Gooch, but they kept putting the moron Blaker interviewing them and giving him the personal cell phone number, where we now know that Dylan and Blaker were texting back and forth before they even sat down for interviews, which I think is totally ridiculous and not okay. Why do you think they took her off interviewing Dylan? It's because she was asking the right questions, the instinctual questions. She was getting there, right? So they had to put the narrative driver on there, who's not going to be challenging to those obvious questions, those instinctual questions. Right. And so I believe Dylan was probably told, listen, here's what you're going to say. Just don't worry. Stick with this. And if you run into trouble, say, I think, I don't remember. And you don't worry, you're doing the right thing, because this is going to help us nail whoever we're on. We're almost there. Just stay this. We're almost there. We almost got him.
Well, and you can hear her like correct herself when she says, I'm almost positive. Wait, I was pretty intoxicated, but I think, like, you know what I mean? Like, it goes directly to that many times. And so, Sammy, to wrap up the stream, as we're about at time here, guys,
Yeah.
if you, two things, let me just say this. Hit the like button, please. It's all that I ask. Sammy crushed it tonight. This is a great conversation. Tomorrow morning, there's like an 80% chance that I will do the morning stream at between 8 and 9 a.m. If you don't see it, I apologize. Busy time right now for myself and Mrs. Birdie, but I will be on tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. for a late night live dig. But just hit that like button real quick. I just wanted to wrap this up real quick and say this to Sammy. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of an investigator, what's one question that you did not hear asked in this first, interrogation or questioning that you would have?
If the pattern of your cell phone is to normally text and call these people the regular way that we've seen as we downloaded your cell phone, why on that evening in particular did you switch to Snapchat with so many people for such a lengthy period of time where the conversations disappear? And then go back immediately the next day to conversating with these people by regular means.
Yeah.
If nothing was wrong.
That is a great question. I was going to ask what Lisa Forward, Lisa Backward asked, and it's like, why is nobody asking this chick? Why did it take you so long to call 911? At no point. Why is it 8 hours? Like, seriously, on the simplest of levels, Sammy.
Well, she's already said this in the interviews where she said she thought nothing was wrong, but that's obviously not true because every one of her actions screams something was wrong. So that's why she goes back and forth in these conflicting statements.
So I guess you could maybe combine both of what you just said, and then that question is, so
yeah,
Dylan, help me understand this. You are telling me that you didn't think anything ever happens in Moscow, that nothing's wrong, but you are describing the reasonable person standard of everything is wrong. Somebody's saying in their house,
you're
oh my God, someone's in the house.
Door 3 times. You're opening and like your behavior.
And you don't know what's real.
Right. Your behavior is saying something is wrong. By the way, another contradictory thing she said in one sentence was she saw a cylinder and an arrow thing. She's like, kind of like a bow and arrow, right? She's talking about that object. And the Gooch says, well, where was the object? And she goes, it was on his lower. It was on his low. It was like he was holding it lower. I mean, it could be higher. It could have been how high. What do you mean? It's either you see an object and he's holding it lower or he's holding it higher. How can you say both? Or maybe higher. So what is he like? This or like this?
Why would you say it? Why would you say it?
It's because I don't believe she saw that.
No, but why would you say it in her position?
Like, why would she be saying that? Because it causes purposeful confusion and it gets them on a track of something that doesn't actually exist and something that they don't need to worry about.
They're getting answers without getting the truth.
Exactly. They're chasing down leads and things that don't need to be chased down. But they started getting things that they should have been looking at. The contradictions and the not remembering is the road. If we re-listen to this interview and you go down the I don't remember road, let's travel down that path all the fucking way. And I guarantee you that's the story.
And it's like, sorry for the yawn, guys.
No, fine.
I was just going to say, this interview, as it's titled, it's effing chaos. It's hard to follow. Like I encourage people, Go listen to this interview through and through, even if you do it at like 1.5 speed or 2 speed. Like, listen to it when you got some windshield time. Tell me if you can even follow it for how much you understand this, like, supposed timeline.
And
it
by
was
the way,
hard for me to do it.
It's such a slap in the face that both Judge John Judge and Hippler both heard these interviews and didn't give a Franks hearing and allowed and thought the grand jury who got this this woman knows nothing. She's thinking we're getting one eyebrowed baklavas.
Well,
are
you know
you
what?
out of your fucking mind?
Yeah, or it's a unibrow, right? Like, it's something. But Sherlock did say, and this is not to troll. At this point,
Sherlock,
if I was, just going off the interviews, is Sherlock's comment unreasonable? Like, on a scale of 10, 1 to 10. How do we know Dylan didn't do the murders sleepwalking? She keeps saying she can't tell what is a dream and what wasn't. So I'd have to give that a 5. I'd have to put that in the middle.
Why not? You forgot you took out the dog. You don't remember when you came back in. You don't know how you went to sleep. You don't know if you locked the door. And by the way, weird thing about that too, when she starts bringing up, oh, in the sliding glass door, the balcony. And I was thinking about how easy it could be somebody was watching us. Kaylee was saying in the backyard in that area. And then she was thinking about how easy it would for a boy to be able to, crawl up that balcony and get up there. And like we said, if we're to believe her story, they were already in the house when she said somebody's in the house. And she said they were 3 feet apart, guys. You were 3 feet apart with somebody, and all you can give us the detail is a one eyebrowed baklava. I can't tell you the eyebrow color. I can't tell you the eye color. But it looks like this.
And then the media comes in and they overlay.
3 feet away? What are you have cataracts? Are you like a 17-year-old dog dragging his ass on the carpet on his last leg? Fuck off.
What a quote to end on. Sammy, it was good to have you back. Thank you so much for popping up here. You did great tonight. And the Hive, as always, you guys rock. I'll be back on. Like I said, keep an eye out for the live schedule tomorrow morning. If not, I will still plan on 100% being on here at 9 p.m. Central tomorrow evening.
I love you, Birdie.
Yeah, I love you too, Sammy. And thank you so much, everybody in the Hive.
Birdie, tell her I said I love her.
I will. I hope everybody has a great night. Thank you so much, Sammy. Cheers, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life.